and welcome or welcome back to my channel. So in this tutorial I'll be showing you how to make this butterfly top. I already did a tutorial on it, but the previous one had a longer bottom wing, and some of my clients were saying that they have a short torso and the bottom wing was so long. So I did another one with a shorter bottom wing. And then another thing, in the previous video some people were saying that the instructions were not clear enough, and I used a black yarn for this body part. So in this tutorial I'm trying my best to be clear enough and to show you how to go about it. So if you like it, please subscribe down below. So for this video I'll be using three colors: red, mustard and gray, and I'll be using robin yarn. It's 100% acrylic. You'll also need a pair of scissors, which I don't have at the moment, and a number 3 hook. I'll be using this side of number 3. So this is roughly 3.25 millimeters, but 3 millimeters is okay. Or if you want closer stitches, you can use 2.5 millimeters. So let's just head over to the video. Make your slip knot, and then set your hook, chain 4. This chain 4 will act as a double crochet and a chain 1. So in this first chain, place a double crochet, so yarn over, insert your hook, pull through, and yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. So make 2 more double crochets in the same chain. So you'll have 4 double crochets here at the first row. So row 2, what you're going to do, chain 3, then turn your work, double crochet in the first stitch. So you have 2 double crochets there, and then 1 double crochet in the next 2 stitches, 2 double crochet in the last stitch. So this second row you'll have 6 double crochets in total, with the chain 3 acting as a double crochet. So third row, turn your work, skip the first stitch, slip stitch in the second stitch, slip stitch in the third stitch, and then chain 3, double crochet in the same stitch, 2 double crochet in the next stitch. Row 4, chain 3. We're going to repeat our row 2 pattern, double crochet in the same stitch, 1 double crochet in the next 2 stitches, 2 double crochet in the last stitch. So this last stitch you'll identify the third chain because we did a chain 3. Turn your work, repeat the row 3 pattern, skip the first stitch, slip stitch in the second and the third stitches, chain 3, double crochet same stitch, 2 double crochet next stitch. So we have 4, 6, 4, 6, 4. The next row, turn your work, repeat row 2 pattern, chain 3, double crochet same stitch, 1 double crochet in the next 2 stitches, then 2 double crochet in the last stitch. So our row 6 is also complete with 6 double crochets. Row 7, you're going to skip the first stitch, slip stitch in the second stitch, and then chain 3, double crochet same stitch, 2 double crochet next stitch, and then 2 double crochet in the third stitch. Skip these last 2 stitches, don't work in them, and turn your work. Chain 3, double crochet same stitch, and then 1 double crochet in these 3 stitches, in these 4 stitches, sorry. So 1 double crochet in each of them. The last stitch, place 2 double crochets. So your row 8 is also complete with 8 double crochets. Turn your work. Skip the first stitch, slip stitch in the second stitch, slip stitch also in the third stitch, then chain 3, double crochet same stitch, 2 double crochet in the next 3 stitches. So 2 double crochet in the next stitch, 2 double crochet in the next stitch, and 2 double crochet in the next stitch. So your row 9 shall have 8 double crochets in total. Turn your work, chain 3, double crochet same stitch, and then 1 double crochet in these 6 stitches. Two double crochet in the last stitch. Turn your work. So in this, it's the 10th row, or in the 10th row you have 10 stitches. So skip the first stitch, slip stitch in the second and the third, then chain 3, double crochet in the same stitch, and then 1 double crochet, sorry, 2 double crochet in the next stitch, 2 double crochet in the next stitch, 2 double crochet in the next stitch. So repeat this until you have 6 sets of 2 double crochets. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So make your last set of 2 double crochets here. In total you'll have 12 double crochets in the 11th row. Chain 3, turn. So in this row you're going to place double crochet in the same stitch, and then 1 double crochet in these middle stitches, so it will be 10 double crochets in the middle. So let's meet when you're through and you're working your last stitch here. When you reach the last stitch, place 2 double crochets. So this row will have a total of 14 double crochets. So like your main body is complete, and the only thing remaining is our head part. Turn your work, skip the first stitch, slip stitch in the next 5 stitches. then chain 3, double crochet same stitch, 2 double crochet next 2 stitches. You'll have 6 stitches remaining. Turn your work, chain 3, double crochet next stitch, double crochet the next 4 stitches. So when you're through with your body, you're going to make the ties for the neck. So chain 70 or more and then cut your yarn. Let's meet when you're through. So I'm through with my 70 chains and already cut my yarn. If you want a longer tie, just continue making more chains. So we'll add another tie here. So make a slip knot. And then insert your hook in that last stitch. Pull your yarn and then make 70 chains also this side. So let's meet when you're through. So I've already made my 70 chains this side and cut my yarn. And my ties for the necks is complete. So the previous video I did 2 antennas here in the middle, but I won't do for this one. I'll just leave it like this. So this being my right side, I'll turn to the left and start working on the wings. Okay, for the wings, turn your work on the back and then count your 8th row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then at the last stitch there, insert your hook and then make a slip knot. Pull through. Then chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This chain 4 will be double crochet under chain 1, then go back in the same stitch, make another double crochet. Then chain 3. On this 10th row, place a double crochet, chain 1 and a double crochet. Chain 5. On this last or the 12th row, double crochet, chain 1 and a double crochet in the same stitch. Then chain 1 and cut your yarn. So turn your work on the right side and work the same for this other side. I'm through with both sides and this is how your work should look like at this point. So the next step will now to work on the inner wing and then the outer wing. So to do that, working on the right side, we'll turn our work on our right or left if you're left-handed. And then on this first space, we're going to attach our yarn. So what I want to do something different with this one. I want to do or to attach my yarn with a standing double crochet. To do that, make a slip knot. And then yarn over the hook. Insert your hook in this space, pull through yarn. You have 3 loops, yarn over, pull through the first 2, and then yarn over, pull through the next 2. If you can't do this, just attach your yarn and then chain 3. Place 3 more double crochets in the same space to have 4 double crochet, chain 1, and in this chain 5 space work 5 double crochet. Chain 1, and in this space 3 double crochet, this second space. Chain 1, 3 double crochets in the chain 3 space. Chain 1, and in this last chain 1 space place 4 double crochet. Turn your work, skip the first stitch, slip stitch in the second stitch and the third stitch, chain 3, double crochet same stitch, 2 double crochet next stitch. And then chain 2, place 2 double crochet in each of these 3 stitches. Chain 2, skip this first stitch in our chain 3, in our 3 double crochet, skip the first stitch and then on the middle stitch 3 double crochet. Chain 2, 2 double crochet in each of these 5 stitches. You should have 10 double crochet, and then chain 2, work 2 double crochet in this first stitch and 2 double crochet in the second stitch. Turn your work, skip the first stitch, slip stitch in the next 2 stitches, then chain 3, double crochet same stitch, 2 double crochet next stitch. Chain 2, and in this part you're going to place 2 double crochet in the first stitch, 1 double crochet in the next stitch, 2 in the third, 1 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, 1 in the sixth, 2 in the seventh, 1 in the eighth, 2 in the ninth, and then 1 in the 10th stitch. So do that and let's meet when you're through with the 10th stitch. You'll have 15 double crochets. Okay, when you're through, you'll have 15 double crochets. Then chain 2 and work your 3 double crochets in this middle stitch. Chain 2. In these 6 stitches, place 2 double crochet in the first stitch, 1 double crochet in the second stitch, 2 in the third, 1 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, and then 1 in the sixth. You should have 9 stitches at the end of this 6th stitch. When you're through, chain 2, work 2 double crochet in the first and the second stitch. So our edging pattern will just be the same, 2 double crochet in the first and the second stitch, and when you're starting, you'll skip the first stitch, slip stitch in the second and the third stitch, then chain 3, double crochet same stitch, 2 double crochet next stitch. So this 4th row of color red, we'll chain 2, and then we're going to work 2 double crochet in the first stitch and 2 double crochet in the last stitch. All these middle stitches will have 1 double crochet each. you should have 1 double crochet in each of these 7 stitches in the middle, because you're starting from the bottom. So you should have, after you've made your single double crochet in the middle stitches, work 2 double crochet in this last stitch. So at the end of this row you should have 11 stitches. Then chain 2, 2 double crochet in this middle stitch, 3 chain 2, 2 double crochet in the first stitch, 1 double crochet in this middle 13 stitches, and 2 in the last stitch. So let's meet when you're working your last 2 double crochets. 2 double crochet in this last stitch, then chain 2, work your edging, 2 double crochet in the first and the second stitches, so turn your work. So repeat this last row, this row 4, 2 more times, and let's meet when you're through with row 6. You should only increase on the first and the last stitches. So I'm through with my row 6 and I have 21 stitches, or 21 double crochet on the upper wing and 15 double crochet on the bottom wing. Then cut your yarn and fasten it off, chain 1 and fasten it off. So we're through on our wrong side, so turn your work on the right side and bring your new color. So I'm going to attach this new color with a standing double crochet on this third stitch. Skip the first 2 stitches, but you can just attach your yarn and then chain 3 as a double crochet. Double crochet in the same stitch, 2 double crochet in the next stitch, chain 2, 2 double crochet in this first stitch, and then 1 double crochet in the middle stitches. So you'll have 19 1 double crochets here in the middle. So let's meet when you're working your last stitch here. When you reach the end, work 2 double crochet in that last stitch. So at the end of this row you should have 23 here, because we only increased on the first and the last stitch. Chain 2, and then, so previously we were skipping this first stitch and working on the middle stitch, but you want to divide the upper wing from the bottom wing. So 3 double crochet in this first stitch, and then turn your work. So we are going to work on the upper wing first, and then we'll come back to the bottom wing. Skip the first stitch, slip stitch in this second stitch, then chain 3, double crochet in the same stitch, 2 in the next stitch, chain 2. We're going to repeat our pattern here in the wing part, 2 double crochet in this first stitch, and then 1 double crochet in each of these middle 21 stitches. So work 1 double crochet in those 21 stitches, and let's meet when you're working your last stitch. When you reach this last stitch, work 2 double crochet. So you should have 25 double crochet here, chain 2, 2 double crochet in the first and the second stitch. Turn your work, slip stitch in the second stitch and the third stitch, chain 3, double crochet same stitch, 2 double crochet in the next stitch. So chain 2, double crochet in this first stitch, 2, and then double crochet in each of these middle stitches until you reach the last stitch, placing 2 on this last stitch. When you reach this last stitch, place 2 double crochets. And then chain 2, 2 double crochet in this first stitch, and then 2 double crochet in the second stitch. So this is our third row of yellow. So you're going to repeat this pattern in the third row 3 more times, and let's meet when you're through with your row 6 of yellow. Basically it's just increasing on the first stitch and the last stitch in this part and working your normal edging pattern. So let's meet when you're through with row 6. Okay, I'm through with my 6th row of this mustard or yellow, and as you can see my work is ending on the upper side of the top. So I have 33 stitches here in the middle, and you can fit it. If it fits you, you can stop here. If it doesn't, you can add more rows, but ending on an even number of size of rows. Yeah. So our row 7, you're going to turn our work, skip the first stitch, slip stitch in the second and the third, then chain 3, double crochet same stitch, 2 double crochet this next stitch, chain 2, 2 double crochet this first stitch, then double crochet in the next 31 stitches. So let's meet when you're working your last stitch here. When you reach the end, work 2 double crochet in this last stitch, chain 2, 2 double crochet in the first stitch, then chain 2 and 2 double crochet in the second stitch. So what you're doing here, we are creating a loop for tying our top. So this is what you're doing. We are creating this loop so that when you want to tie it at the back, your tie here will pass through this loop like that. So turn your work, and on this 8th row you're going to single crochet in this first stitch, single crochet in the second stitch, 2 single crochet in this chain 2, and then single crochet in this next 2 stitches, 2 single crochet in this chain 2, then you slip stitch on this first double crochet. So we want to start shaping the shoulder part, so you're going to decrease from this area. Chain 3, then double crochet in the next stitch, and double crochet in each stitch until you remain with this last stitch here. When you reach this last stitch, you should work 2 double crochet here. And then chain 2 and work your normal edging of 2 double crochet in the next 2 stitches. So at the end of this row, you should have 36 stitches here at the wing part, because we had 35 in the previous row, and this row we've only increased here at the top. So our 8th row, we are going to start our decreases. So count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and place your marker on that 5th stitch. So after placing your marker, you're going to increase on this first stitch and then work double crochets ending on this stitch right before our marker. So skip the first stitch, slip stitch on the second and the third, chain 3, double crochet same stitch, 2 in the next stitch, then chain 2, 2 double crochet in this first stitch, then 1 double crochet in the next stitch, and in each stitch stopping here at the stitch right before the marker. When you're through, turn your work and then single crochet in this first stitch, single crochet in the next 4 stitches, slip stitch on this 6th stitch. So we skipped 5 stitches here. We're also going to skip 5 stitches here. So our 5 double crochets, our 5 single crochets, we'll count them as the skipped stitches. So slip stitch on the 6th stitch and chain 3, double crochet in the 2nd stitch and the 3rd, and each stitch placing 2 on this last one. So let's meet when you're working your last 2 double crochets. So when you reach this last stitch, place 2 double crochets, chain 2 and work the edging stitch of 2 double crochets in the next 2 stitches. So you're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then insert your marker on that stitch, but ensure it's the 5th stitch so that you don't lose your count. So what you're going to do, you're going to repeat these last 2 rows 3 times or until our count here is 4 stitches, and then let's meet when you're through with that row. So it will be, so this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're adding 3 more rows. So let's meet when you're through your 16th row. So I'm here on my 16th row, and I did just what I did in previous rows. I'm having 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches here, then chain 2, 2 double crochet on this first stitch, and then 2 on the 2nd stitch. Turn your work. You can either finish it off here, because you can either finish it off here, it's on the wrong side, or finish it here on the right side. So to finish it on the right side, you're going to chain 3, then double crochet on the 2nd stitch, double crochet on the 3rd stitch, and double crochet on the 4th stitch, then chain 1 and cut your yarn. So your upper wing is complete, and this is how it looks like. To work on the bottom wing, we're going to attach our yarn on the right side. So we're going to attach our yarn here with a standing double crochet. So make a slip knot. You can either work standing double crochet or attach your yarn and then chain 3. So yarn over, set your hook on this stitch, skip this middle stitch, and then pull through 2, and never pull through the last 2, then 2 more double crochets, chain 2. So what you're going to do here is you're going to double crochet on each stitch. You're not going to make any increases here at the bottom wing because we want our bottom wing to be shorter. So work 1 double crochet in each of these stitches. Just continue and let's meet when you're through with your double crochets here. When you're through, you should have 15 double crochets here, and then chain 2, work your edging, 2 double crochet in the next 2 stitches. Then turn your work. So on this next row, you're going to make a decrease. So work your normal edging, slip stitch in the 2 stitches, next 2 stitches, chain 3, double crochet same stitch, 2 double crochet the next stitch, then chain 2. So this is how you're going to work our decrease. You're going to skip this first stitch, and then on the second stitch work a double crochet. And then since we had 15 stitches here, we've already skipped 1, so you're remaining with 14. We're going to double crochet in the 13 stitches here at the middle. So you already made 1, so double crochet in the next 12 stitches. And let's meet when you're through with your last stitch here on the second last double crochet. And when you have 13 double crochets, chain 2, skip this last stitch, and then work your edging. So 2 double crochet in this first stitch, and then 2 double crochet in the second stitch. Then turn, skip the first stitch, slip stitch the next 2 stitches, chain 3, double crochet same stitch, 2 double crochet next stitch, and then chain 2, work another decrease in this row. So skip the first stitch, then double crochet in the second stitch, and then the next 10 stitches. So just work, and then let's meet when you're through your 11th stitch. Here having 11 stitches, chain 2, and then work your edging. Turn your work. So what you're going to do here, we're going to repeat the last 3 rows. So our next row, we won't have any decrease. So slip stitch in the next 2 stitches, chain 3, double crochet same stitch, 2 in the next, and then chain 2. So we're going to have 11 also in this row. So double crochet in the first stitch, and then in each of the next 10 stitches. When you're through, chain 2, and then work your edge. So 2 double crochet in the next 2 stitches, turn your work, skip the first stitch, slip stitch in the second and the third, chain 3. So On this 1 2 3 4, on the 5th and the 6th row, repeat the 2nd and the 3rd row of yellow. So you're going to have 2 more decreases. So we had 11 here. On the 6th row, on the 5th row, you're going to have 9 stitches, and then on the 6th row you should have 7 stitches. So let's me turn you through with your 6th row. So I'm through with my 6th row. I have 7 double crochets. So turn your work, slip stitch in the 2nd stitch and the 3rd stitch, then chain 3, double crochet in the same stitch, 2 double crochet in the next stitch. So what you're going to do on this 7th row, we're going to have a constant stitches. We're not going to make any decrease. Chain 2, then double crochet on this 1st stitch and each of the next 6 stitches. So you shall have 7 double crochets here in this row. Chain 2, mark your edging, 2 double crochet in the next 2 stitches. And then turn your work. So on our 8th and 9th row, we're going to repeat the 5th and the 6th row. So repeat the 2 decreases. So in our 8th row we'll have 5 double crochets, and then on the 9th row we're going to have 3 double crochets. So let's me turn it through with your row 9. Row 9. My row 9 is complete, and I'll turn my work. On the 10th row, you're going to slip stitch on the 2nd stitch and then the 3rd stitch, chain 3, double crochet same stitch, and then 2 double crochet next stitch, so here we're not going to chain 2, we're going to chain 1 and then skip the 1st stitch. On this middle stitch, work a double crochet and then chain 1, work your edging on this side. Turn your work, slip stitch on the 2nd stitch, slip stitch on the 3rd stitch, chain 3, double crochet same stitch, sorry, don't double crochet in the same stitch, double crochet in the next stitch, yeah, like that, and then chain 2. On this side you're going to double crochet on this 1st stitch and then double crochet in the 2nd stitch. So our bottom wing is also complete, and we've completed it on the right side. So chain 1 and then cut your yarn, or cut your yarn and then chain 1 and fasten it off. So this is how you work your butterfly top. So this side is complete. Let me place it like this so that you can see it in full. So this side is complete, and you're going to work on this left side. To do that, just turn your work around, and then since this side we started from the top going down, this side you're going to start from the bottom going up, because we want our first row of this red to be on the right side. So take your yarn, make your slip knot. You can either touch yarn and then chain 3 or go with a standing double crochet. Let me show you. You make a slip knot and then insert your hook, pull through, then yarn over, insert your hook in this space, yarn over, pull through, then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Work 3 more double crochets, and then chain 1, 3 double crochets because we are working from the bottom up, so 3 double crochets in this chain 3 space. What you're going to do is just the same as the previous wing, so you don't have to watch this video, but if you want to know how to do it, just watch it. Then 3 double crochets here, chain 1, sorry, and then 5 double crochet in the chain 5 space. Chain 1, then 4 double crochets here, so our first row is complete. Turn your work, skip the first stitch, slip stitch on the second at the third, then chain 3, double crochet in the same stitch, 2 double crochet in the next stitch, then chain 2, then on these stitches you're going to work 2 double crochet in each of these 5 double crochets. So work 2 double crochets in each of these 5 double crochets, chain 1, chain 2, and then skip the first stitch, 3 double crochet in this middle stitch, chain 2, 2 double crochet in each of these 3 stitches, chain 2, 2 double crochet in this first stitch, and then 2 double crochet in the second stitch, turn your work, skip the first stitch, double crochet in the second and the third stitches, chain 3, double crochet same stitch, 2 double crochet next stitch, chain 2. So here we're also going to have a slight change from the previous one. So what you're going to do is we're going to start with 1 double crochet in this last stitch and then 2 in the next. One in the next. So alternate between 2, 1 and 2. So this last stitch before the chain 2 space will have 2 double crochets. So At the end of this row you should also have 9 stitches. Chain 2, 3 double crochet in this middle stitch, chain 2, and you're going to repeat what you have done here. So 1 double crochet in this first stitch, 2 in the next. So alternate between 1 and 2, placing 2 on this last stitch just before the chain 2 space. So I'm through, and you should have 15 stitches here if you started with 5 double crochets, that is. Then chain 2, 2 double crochet in this first stitch, and then 2 in the second. Turn your work, skip the first stitch, slip stitch on the second and the third, chain 3, double crochet, same stitch, 2 in the next, chain 2, 2 double crochet on this first stitch, and then 1 double crochet in each of these middle stitches, placing 2 at the last one right before the chain 2 space. So let's meet when you're through with these last 2 double crochets. So when you're through, you shall have 17 stitches. Then chain 2, 3 double crochet in this middle stitch, chain 2, 2 in the first stitch, and then 1 in these middle stitches, placing 2 at the last stitch here. Chain 2, 2 double crochet in this first stitch, and then 2 in the second stitch. So we're through the 4 rows of red. What you're going to do is you're going to repeat the pattern in the last row or the 4th row. So repeat it twice, and then let's meet when you're through with your row 6. So I'm through with my 4th or my 6th row of red, and I've already chained 1 and cut my yarn. So what you're going to do, you finished your work on the wrong side. You're going to attach this yellow here, still working on the wrong side. Don't turn your work. So you're going to attach your yarn on this second stitch, just as we did on the previous wing. Now let me just show you of what I mean. So grab your yarn, make a slip knot, set your hook, pull through, yarn over, and then skip the first 2 stitches. On the 3rd stitch, work a standing double crochet and then another double crochet. So we're going to repeat the same pattern as we did here on this previous wing, because we also attached our yarn from the top going down. So repeat that pattern, then let's meet when you're through with your second wing, and then we'll be working the border now. So I'm through with my top or my butterfly, and the only thing that is remaining is the border and the straps for the back. So what you're going to do is you're going to attach our yarn on this first space, working on the right side, on this first space here, and then work along this side, turn, work along this side, turn, work here, then work here, work here, and then complete your work in this space. So to do that, you're going to make a slip knot, and then insert our hook in this piece, pull through, and then chain one. So after the chain one, I want to work hiding this tail. So go right in this next row, in the last double crochet or the outer double crochet, work 2 single crochet, and then here at the top we're going to after the 2 single crochets, chain 1, skip this outer stitch here where we placed our 2 double crochets, and then on this second stitch here in the middle, not in the middle but in the inside, work a single crochet, then go right in the next row, 2 single crochets around this last stitch, chain 1, skip the outer stitch, and then on this inner stitch insert your hook and work a single crochet. Next row, 2 single crochet around that, chain 3, chain 1, and then single crochet in this second stitch. Right in the next row, 2 single crochet around that last stitch, chain 1, and then in this inner stitch work a single crochet. So repeat this pattern till you reach here, and you'll remain with 2 rows. So let's meet when you're remaining with 2 rows. To repeat once more what you do, after working on this top stitch, go in the next row, then 2 single crochets, chain 1, and then in this second stitch here work single crochet. From here I've worked my 2 single crochets around this stitch, so I've already chained 1. I'll go inside this inner stitch and work single crochet. In the next row work 2 single crochets around that outer stitch, and then go right on the next row, work 2 single crochets. So this is how our first row looks like. And then here we're going to make the strap for the back. So chain as long as you would wish, or if you're working for a client, you're going to chain 200 to 300 chains. Yeah. So for me, I'll work 230, and then let's meet when you're through. I've made my 230 chains, so I'll just cut my yarn, then I fasten it off. So what you can do here, you can tie this top part so that it doesn't unravel. You can also use beads or anything. Then cut that loose end. So our first circle, this our first row of border is complete, and we'll turn our work and then proceed to this side. So grab your yarn, make a slip knot, and then reattach it here at the base of this last single crochet. Then chain 1, and go straight at the top of this last stitch, like a single crochet, and then the next stitch, like a single crochet, and single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So after that, chain 1 and then work 2 single crochet around this last stitch. So 1, 2, then turn, work 2 single crochet in this, chain 2, and place 1 single crochet in each of these 4 stitches. Chain 1 and work 2 single crochet around this last stitch, then turn, work 1 single crochet in these 5 stitches. So start here, 2, 3, 4, then 5. Sorry, this is not a stitch here, we did a slip stitch. So since we've made this, let's just work another single crochet here, chain 1, turn, work 2 single crochet around this stitch, then turn, work 1 single crochet in these 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. Don't go around it, just identify the top stitch in the chain 3. Then chain 1 and work 2 single crochet here. So repeat that until the end of this decrease. So let's me turn you through with this last stitch. So you'll work 5 single crochets, 2 single crochets, 5 chain 1 2, 5 chain 1 2, 5 chain 1 2, 5 chain 1 2 until you reach here. So after you're through with your last single crochet here, you're going to chain 1 and then work 2 around this last stitch, turn, work 1 single crochet in each of these stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then the last one, chain 1 and turn, now working our 3rd row here. So place 2 single crochets around this first double crochet, then when go straight ahead on the next row, work single crochet on that inner stitch, then the outer stitch you'll chain 1 and work 2 around it. So go straight, we have 2 stitches that we left, the inner one, work a single crochet, chain 1 and then 2 around the outer stitch. So also repeat that until you reach here on this last one before we turn our work. So I'm remaining with this last yellow where we did 3 double crochets. So after you're through with these 2, you're just going to go straight in that last stitch, work a single crochet, and then work 2 single crochets around it. So when you're through with that third row of border, just turn and then work 1 single crochet in this stitch that we left here in the middle, then turn to the bottom part, 2 single crochets around this stitch, one single crochet here at the top stitch, the same stitch, work 1 single crochet at the top, and then go in the next row 2 single crochets around it, chain 1, skip the outer stitch, in this inner stitch work a single crochet. So you're going to repeat our pattern in this first row. So go in the next row, 2 single crochet, chain 1, in the inner stitch work a single crochet. So repeat that until you reach the end of that row. Here, the last row, you're going to work 2 single crochets, 1, 2, then chain 1 and turn. On this row you're going to work single crochet on the first stitch, the chain 3, then single crochet in the next stitch, 2 single crochet in the chain 2 space, and then 2 single crochet in these last 2 stitches, chain 1 and turn. So here we're also going to repeat our pattern. Here I'll just show you what to do the first few lines or the few rows. So after chaining 1, work 2 single crochets around that first stitch, go in the next row, work a single crochet in the inner stitch, chain 1 and 2 single crochet around the outer stitch, go inside the inner stitch, work a single crochet, chain 1, 2 around the outer stitch, so repeat that until the end of this red. Here I've already done my 2 single crochets around this last stitch, so my next step will be to slip stitch in this space, then chain 1 and cut the yarn. So this is how this side looks like with the border. You can see now it's more neat and presentable. So that's what you're going to do on this other side. So what you're going to do from this side is you're going to start by working here. So we're going to attach our yarn in this space. Chain 1 and go straight in this first row, work 2 single crochet, chain 1, and then, sorry, I made 3 double crochet here instead of 4, So if you did 4, you're going to chain 1 and then go inside the inner stitch and work a single crochet. But since we only have 3 here, after chaining 1, we don't chain. I won't chain 1. I'll just go in the next row, then work 2 single crochet around that stitch. So chain 1 and then go inside this inner stitch and work single crochet. Go in the next one. So basically you're repeating this first row pattern. So do that until the end here, and then let's meet when you're working this last row. So 2 single crochet around this last row, chain 1, turn, work 1 single crochet in this last stitch or the chain 3, then 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 2 in this chain 2 space, one in the next 2, then chain 1 and turn your work. So you're working towards this edge. We're going to repeat our pattern here, here. So you can go back and check it, or I can show you the first few steps. So after chaining 1, 2 single crochet around this first row, and then single crochet inside this inner stitch, chain 1, 2 single crochet around that stitch, single crochet in the inner stitch. So locating these stitches will be a bit tricky because of the slip stitches, but they can still be found, so don't worry. So 2 single crochet around this last or the outer stitch, single crochet in this inner stitch. So repeat that until here. So let's meet when you're through this row. So I'm through. What I'll do, I'll go straight inside this stitch. So go in the outer stitch, work a single crochet here, my work seems very close because I'd already sewed in or ribbed in the loose ends. After that, go inside the outer stitch and work 2 single crochet. Single crochet here, and then continue with the pattern until you reach here. So let's meet when you'll be working this part. When you're through, chain 1 and then work single crochet in these top single crochet stitches, till you reach here. Stop on this stitch because this one is a slip stitch. Then 2 single crochet around this last stitch, chain 1 and then single crochet in the top 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5, and go straight on this row. So 2 single crochet around that stitch, chain 1 and then work 5 single crochet, then 2 double crochet, chain 1, 5 single crochet. So repeat until you're here. So I've already done my 4 single crochet on these 4 stitches, so I'll work 2 single crochet in this space, and then I turn 2 single crochet around this stitch, then chain 1 and single crochet in the top stitches, four. So again we are through and we're here at the top. We're going to chain 230 if you did 230 the other side for tying it at the back. Okay, when you're through, just chain 1 and cut your yarn. So we're also going to fasten this side as we did in the previous side. Now we are only remaining with this side to work the border, and to do that we're going to make a slip knot. And then we reattach our yarn here at this last stitch. Chain 1, we will reattach our yarn in this single crochet. And then we single crochet on this first stitch, 2 around this double crochet, two around this next double crochet, and then go straight inside this inner stitch, work a single crochet, chain 1, and work 2 single crochet around the double crochet stitch. Go inside this inner stitch, chain 1, then 2 around the outer stitch. Go inside this inner stitch, make a single crochet, chain 1, and then 2 around the outer stitch. So repeat that pattern until this last double crochet. Come through, and I'll just go straight inside this space and make a slip knot. Then I chain 1 and I cut my yarn. So I'm through with my top, and the only thing that is remaining is to weave in the ends. So I'll just weave in the end and then I show you how to tie it at the back. So our top is complete, or our butterfly is complete, and I want to say thank you so much for watching if you're able to watch it up to this end. And don't forget to leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe down below if you haven't subscribed, and share it so that other people can also get to know about it. So if you want to know how to tie it at the back, you're going to take your left or your right tie and then insert it here at the space we left on the left wing or the right wing, like that. Take this other side and insert it here at the same space. then use it and insert it here on this space here below. So take this one also and insert it on this space. So this is how your back will look like. It will be like an crosses. Then you tie it. And then you're done. So thank you again so much for watching, and please stay safe and watch out for the next video. Bye. And welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Faith, and in today's video I'll show you how to make this butterfly top. I already did a tutorial on it, and other people say that it was either not clear enough or some instruction they didn't understand. So I decided to make another video on the same, but the only difference I've made is this bottom part. In the previous video is longer and in this video is shorter. So I hope you enjoy it, and please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. So let's head over to the video.